circle. Be a shot and a goal! Head over tea kettle and then goal for the Tigers. And it is 2-0.
It's going to be Van Wyk towards goal, and it's in. Once again, the Tigers quickly respond.
And there's a clear breakaway. Ford trying to get it in. A shot and a goal. It is 3-0. Tigers lead.
Towards goal, and it's in. Tigers win. Van Wyk taps it in at the far post, and the Tigers are headed to tomorrow's championship game.
There we go. That's a better way to bring her in here. That is Kriekie van Wyk. Kriekie, let's go ahead and kind of announce a couple things. Obviously, the things that you know about, and we're going to go ahead and make sure that everyone's aware of. Last week you were named the Synops All-American, but now it became truly official when you became a true All-American all the way around with the NFHCA All-American. You're getting a lot of attention right now. What does something like that mean to you, knowing that you've gotten a couple of awards that are really, really big, considering that it's your sophomore season?
No, honestly, it means a lot. At first, I didn't know what it meant at all. But honestly, if it wasn't for Coach Andy and the team's help, I don't think I would have gotten any of them. I mean, it's always a team effort, and yeah, no, it means more than I think it means to me. But no, it means a lot. Just shows me that all the hard work that I've put in is finally starting to pay off. So.
Well, we have also with her I want to say her support crew, but he is also definitely the head coach of the University of Pacific women's field hockey team. That is head coach Andy Smith joins us as well. Coach, you normally hear our show, but now you're on our show, so thank you very much for joining us as well.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
I think I'm doing a little injustice on Kriekie a little bit, because I know that you've talked about her. It was actually last year before she even came to University of Pacific. Can you enlighten us a little bit more in to where she'll barely be able to fit out of this room? Her head will be so big.
I think the best way is to actually tell a little story that happened in October last year. I'd seen a lot of video and I had a number of conversations with Kriekie, and I went in and to talk to Dr. Ted Leland about getting through the admissions process. And I sat across the table from him, and he said, "Oh, I got this player," and he said, "How good is she?" And I said, "She could have 40 points as a freshman." And he was like, "How do you know that?" I said, "I just know. You just got to trust me on it." He said, "All right, let's get it done." So he wrote the letter to admissions, and we got her through the admissions process, and we had her in the spring, and I think that really helped a lot. And then this fall, she went through the 40-point mark pretty quickly. So I went back in to Dr. Leland and said, "See? She didn't have 40. I said, "Do you remember that player that I said could have 40 points?" He said, "Yeah, what happened to her?" I said, "She's got 57 points. Leave me alone." So it's strange that we've just been through a similar kind of situation. He didn't even ask this year; he just did it. So I think she's been an incredible asset for this program. Had a really, really positive impact on us from day one, and we're thrilled she's here. She's a lot of fun to be around. Great for teammates, and. Certainly has just, this has been announced to the team, but it hasn't been made public yet, but I'll take the opportunity to do that now. She's just been named a captain for next year. So we'll be a sophomore captain, effectively, on our team, which will be, I think the first one in quite a while has had that recognition at such an early age. Kylie Morrison also had it at an early age as well, and you saw what a great leader she became, so we're kind of hoping that Kriekie will follow in her footsteps a little bit.
What does that mean to you, Kriekie? I mean, that is a true honor. I mean, to be named a captain at your age, it takes a lot of responsibility, and obviously Coach Andy Smith has a lot of that into you, that kind of faith into you.
Yeah, no, that means a lot to me. I remember actually when I first came here or got here, we had training station, and then after the training station I went to his office and I told him, "Listen, but I don't think we should do it this way. I think we should do it that way." And he's like, "But why don't you talk to the team? You have to start talking." I'm like, "Yeah, Andy, but I'm shy. And then, but when he said, "No, but stop it, you have to start talking to the team," and then that was like, "Oh, challenge accepted, Andy." And then at first when I started talking, I couldn't stop. And yeah, no, it means a lot that he put that much faith in me to lead the team. It's gonna take a lot for me to feel Kylie Morrison's footsteps. Like, she was such an example to the team. Like, I honestly look up to her, and she was such a great teammate. I'm gonna miss her terribly. I'm sure the team's gonna miss her so much. But yeah, that means so much to me.
Talk a little bit about this little transition. I mean, you're from South Africa. You've done you've played for a various amount of teams. What was that transition like? You know, was there a little bit of culture shock coming from South Africa to California? I mean, there's so many different things that could go on here. And what was that like for you?
Your cultural shock, yeah, definitely. So I'm actually Afrikaans, so I've never spoken so much English in my life, like my whole life. I think this is the best English I've ever spoken. But yeah, playing wise, it's so different. I really like both ways of playing, South African style and I mean the style of hockey we play here. It's been a big transition, but I actually like got used to both ways of playing, and then when I went back now for the tournament we had to play for South Africa, it was just honestly like, I don't know, I'm just still kind of used to the way they play, and I'm still kind of used to the way we play here. But yeah, it's been big, but now that I got used to it, it's not as bad.
We've talked about another young lady by the name of Savannah Burns. In fact, the one time that you and I actually met the first time, I had both of you, interviewed both of you at the same time.
Yeah.
How much, well, first question I think is best question is, knowing that she's from South Africa too, how much have you ever had a chance to play against her? Have you ever had a chance to play against her? And how much has she helped with your transition to here?
Sam and I have played against each other quite a lot. The first ever game we've played against each other was when both of us were under 16. The only thing I remembered was before we played their team, I was like, oh my gosh, now we're going to have to play against Savannah Burns. I am not looking forward to this game at all. And no, it was a pretty good game. She made a couple of us look like cones. So yeah, no, but it was still good. So since my under 16 year, both of us were 16 years old, we've played against each other till our final year of high school, so senior year, and it was great. Like, playing against her, obviously I've looked up to her as a player. She's just such a good example for everyone. And then coming here, she helped so much. She helped me grow as a player, and like talking to the team, just being honest and giving my opinion, and just the way of playing. She helped me so much to back myself and just play with confidence. And yeah.
You exploded onto the scene, I think, probably more than, I mean, Coach Smith, he basically said, I expected you to hit 40 points. You went 57 points. And I mean, that was absolutely phenomenal. You, in some cases, this is a team sport, obviously, but you did a lot of things that helped this team get to as far as they did this year. You know, next year they're going to be gunning for you in a lot of ways. I mean, you got put the All-American label on you. You know that this team is the expectations are there now. How do you soak that all in, and what do you focus on in order to kind of keep yourself level?
So, honestly, for me, I just want to focus on us as a team, not like focus on other teams. Like you said, like obviously they're going to be coming, like gunning for us or whatever, but honestly for me, I just want to focus on the team. That's what we've been doing for this season. We didn't focus on other teams at all. We just focused on what we want to do, and yeah, like that's basically what we want to do.
Coach Smith, I'm going to bring you back in here, and I want to go ahead and ask you some questions regarding, I think, not this season that just finished, but last year. You had an expectation of yourself and this team of where they were at last year, and you asked Dr. Leland to go ahead and put a lot of faith in you and say, hey, give me 3 years and watch what this program can do. Now we saw what they were able to do after this last season. What are your expectations now? I mean, now that this season's over with and we can kind of digest this one and kind of focus on I don't know how focused are you already for next season, but I would expect that there's a lot of expectations and a lot of excitement already from you and your camp.
Yeah, I think that the best way of putting it is we expect to compete for a national championship next year. I think that's I don't think you get anywhere in life without having big goals, and that's the biggest goal of all. And I think that we are we're better now than we've ever been before. We've got great players coming in at Christmas, and we'll have 6 months to acclimatise to what we're doing, the way that we're trying to do things. And I think that we've set a schedule next year that hasn't been released, and when people see it, they're gonna look at it and they'll be like, they can't be serious. And we've got, I think we're playing 8 out of the top 10 next year. We're playing Syracuse twice, who are a national champion in 2015. We're playing UConn. We're playing Virginia. We're playing Boston College. We're playing Michigan. We're playing Stanford twice. We're going to Syracuse the last weekend of the season before the conference tournament. You know, it will be one of the toughest, one of the top 5 toughest schedules in the country, and we've never played that as a program before. So I think that, and you know, we're not playing those games just to have those teams on a schedule, playing those games because there's an expectation of winning those games, an expectation of going to the NCAA tournament, and there's an expectation of going a lot deeper than that. You know, that was, you know, and it's funny because I read my application again, and I said when I took over in 2013, I said that, you know, one of the things was that I expect us to be competitive within our league and vying for a championship within 3 years, and we won it in the 3rd year, and again we've won it in our 4th year, and I've just signed a new contract here, and one of the things was that the expectation from us now is that we're in the top 10, we're in the top 5, we're competing at a national stage, and that's where we expect to be next. It's not where we hope to be, it's where we expect to be, and I think there's that level of confidence going throughout the team, and you know, as I'm saying this, Kriekie's just nodding ahead, because it's just like, it's music to our players' ears. You know, I mean, you know, we've been off now since what, November 15th?
Roughly.
Yeah, November 15th we played, and we've been off. But I can't tell you how many people from across campus have said, hey, there was 3 or 4 year old girls in the gym this morning. Oh, there's 5 or 6 year old girls spinning. They're in unbelievable shape, and it's December. You know, I think what happened is in 2015. People got a little sniff of success, and they tasted that, and you know, they had the great night on the basketball court, and where they got the rings and they got to raise a banner, and people just, you could see at that point that kind of people's attitudes changed a little bit. And then this year, you know, we're 1 game out of the NCAA tournament, and you know, people are like, we're really, really close, and you know, attitudes have changed again, and I think that, you know, we'll be there or thereabouts next season at a different level than this program's ever been before, I think.
Kriekie, I'm going to go ahead and go back to you now here a little bit. And this last game of the season that was counting for anything was against Stanford, and just to watch, and that whole difficult game. I mean, it was a 1-0 game both times. I mean, other than the time that you played over in Stanford, but the two games on your field, it was a 1-0 game, 1-0. But the last one was probably the toughest one of all. But was there a bitter taste in your mouth behind that one, or is there a lot of angst to get them back already? I mean, was there a lot of excitement where this team's going?
It was a bitter pill to swallow. I'm not gonna lie. I just remember after the game going down to my knees, and I was like, oh, we could have done this, and what if? And yeah, we had our opportunities. Obviously, we didn't take them. Or use them, sorry, but yeah, I remember talking to Andy actually and Savannah, and I said, yeah, it's just so much more motivation for next year, because now we know the disappointment, and just like we were 1 step behind of that, you know, the NCAA tournament, and you know, I mean, that was our goal to get there, and yeah, it's just so much more motivation for next year. I mean, it was a bitter pill to swallow, but it's just so exciting. Like we now have that something to look forward to. We know we can do it, so we just need to go out and do it.
Last question before we go ahead and take a small break here. You know the expectations that head coach Andy Smith has basically set in front of you now as a teammate, now as a captain, being named a captain. What strides are you focused on now to help this team reach Coach Smith's goals?
What strategy? Wait, can you make that question a bit clear, please?
Well, what's your idea to help Coach Andy Smith? I mean, being a captain, I mean, it takes a lot of responsibility, because Coach Smith can only guide you into the way that he can't make you play on the field. I mean, and I've seen Coach Smith get on you. I've seen Coach Smith also praise you and your team for a lot of things. But when you're on that field, you know, you have to be the leader on that field, as if Coach Smith was basically running through your mind the whole time. So what are you looking at for Coach Smith as far as trying to help him reach his goals and becoming a national champion, or competing for a national championship?
So for me, I just feel like we just have, like, on the field, just keep reminding each other that obviously before the game we have a process, we have a game plan, and just to follow the game plan, follow the process. And I mean, I've always had this saying, like, follow the process and the result, or fall in love with the process and the results will come. So
You
I
make
feel
it
like,
sound like me, you know?
yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, I learned from the best. So yeah, I know, we just keep reminding the team that we need to follow the process and just keep taking that one more step. I mean, that was our logo for the year. So we just need to, saying for the year, but yeah, we just need to keep taking that one more step. Just keep reminding the team, and also just remind them to have fun and play with freedom. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and take a small break here. More with Kriekie van Wyk and the head coach of the University of Pacific women's field hockey team. That is head coach Andy Smith. I'm j.o.d. Jeff Dominic. We'll be right back.